Metal.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Te doy la más cordial bienvenida al episodio número 61. Espero que te quedes hasta el final de esta pequeña entrevista. Ya sabes que cuando son entrevistas internacionales son más cortitas, como es este caso. Así que te pido, por favor, quédate hasta el final. Suscríbete si es de tu gusto. Si no lo has hecho aún, súmate, por favor. También me puedes seguir en redes, donde encontrarás muchas reseñas y tal vez te encuentres a tu próxima banda favorita de rock o metal. Uno nunca sabe. Tú échale un ojito, por favor, interactúa conmigo, eso me ayuda muchísimo para seguir creciendo este canal, para que tenga mucho alcance y para que muchos vean lo que tienen que decir los artistas. En esta ocasión estoy con una leyenda del bajo, ha estado en varias bandas, como ha trabajado con Yngwie Malmsteen, ha trabajado en Disciples y pues también tiene su propio proyecto, Soul Sign. Así que le doy la más cordial bienvenida a Bjorn Englen. Hello, Bjorn. Welcome to CeciOn de Metal.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I appreciate the invitation. Thank you.
Thank you. Has trabajado con leyendas del rock y metal como Yngwie Malmsteen y en proyectos como The Disciples. ¿Cómo abordas el desafío de interpretar la música de estos gigantes mientras aportas tu propio estilo del bajo?
Oh, a very good question. Well, you know, when you play when you play music that's classic, that was around before I joined the band, you have to do not just the music, not just the songs, but also the bass lines and the bass tones. You know, like for instance, in Dio Disciples, I try to stay true to Jimmy Bain's sound and style and Geezer Butler's sound and style as much as possible. You know.
Okay.
And I think it's very, very important, especially in that band, because the bass was such an important component in the music and in the sound. So it's very important, I think, in order for the fans to hear the songs and the music properly, you have to, in my opinion, be true to that. But even, you know, and Yngwie Malmsteen is a great example too, because he, in a different way, but he writes everything, and a lot of times he records it. Most of the time he records the bass, plays the bass himself. So he wants it a certain way, and although you know, I would play my own fills and things like that, but I would do things that I knew that he would like. So, and that's very important because I was working for him. You know, if you're a band like my own band, Soul Sign, I can play whatever I want, but I still don't. I need to stay true to the song. And it's important if we can't deliver the song properly, we've made a mistake. So I think regardless of what band you're playing in, the number one thing is you want to deliver the music and the song properly. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you. Eres conocido por tu versatilidad en diferentes estilos de rock y metal. ¿Hay algún género o estilo musical que aún no hayas explorado, pero que te gustaría experimentar en el futuro?
I played pretty much everything. I'd like to maybe do some more jazz, to be honest with you. I have an electric upright that Ibanez was kind enough to sponsor me with, and it's a great, fantastic sounding instrument, and I just love it. I just haven't played it live yet, and I've talked to a couple of friends, and I said let's jam out some jazz and stuff like that. So I'd like to do more of that, but I enjoy playing every style, and I think especially on bass, every style is fun, and you know, and even in rock music, the bass used to be prominent. Unfortunately, it's not anymore. It used to be extremely prominent in the 60s and the 70s, the loud, and the bass was playing all over the place. You know, the rock is probably, if someone really wants to explore the bass and have fun playing the bass, I don't know if rock is the right, today, the right music to play. I have fun playing everything, reggae, different styles of Latin music, funk, R&B, all that stuff is just is so much fun on the bass. So, I'd like to play more of everything. It's just hard to find a time doing all those things and playing, working within everything. You have to kind of focus. And I'm known as a rock player, so that's um, makes more sense for me to work within that style of music, and it's more closer to my heart as well. Um, but what what is to come is I have a solo record that will be made one day, but
Okey,
there will be a lot of different influences in that, and not so much rock, just kind of whatever,
okey,
different styles, and a lot of fretless bass in places and stuff like that. So I love playing the fretless. So
okey.
yeah.
Precisamente con tantas colaboraciones y proyectos bajo tu cinturón, ¿qué características buscas en una banda o artista cuando decides unirte a un nuevo proyecto?
I think the most important thing, especially after being in the business for so long and so many years, is the people in the band, because you're dealing with the people in rehearsals, in the studio, on the
Yeah.
phone, not to mention on the tour bus, at the airport, in the van. So if you don't like the people, it doesn't matter how good the music is, it's going to be miserable. So
Yeah.
that's the number one thing. Obviously, good songs and good musicianship. People don't have to be amazing, but like good players within what you're doing. Like not every style needs fantastic players, but people that have a good ear, good timing, playing with a really good drummer is important. You know, like playing with Simon Wright is awesome. We play really well together, and that's super important for me to be able to play well and also to enjoy being in the band and playing the music. Same thing with the Mike Cancino and Soul Sinus. Also great. They're both great people and great friends, and so. But yeah, overall, to answer your question, I think what it comes down to is if you're working with good people that are loyal, you're also more likely to have good results.
Yeah,
Honest people, respectful people.
of
Very
course.
important.
Tal Sign, como ya nos comentaste, es un proyecto muy personal para ti. ¿Cómo has visto la evolución de esta banda desde sus inicios y qué dirección crees que tomará en el futuro?
Well, it's already taken a more melodic approach back to the stuff we grew up on. The first record was a little too uh, grungy, if you want to use that word, which really is interesting because it really is not a typical influence of
Okey.
ours. It's going to be a little bit more fast paced and more melodic, and classic rock meets hard rock and metal. But melodic.
Oh,
That's
okey.
so important to me. Melody is everything. If you don't have melody, you don't have much. So definitely melodic and upbeat, more upbeat, definitely.
Okey,
So that's on the new record coming out, which we don't have a release date yet. We thought it was
okey.
going to be August, but it will be later now because we have some label changes. And but you'll hear it on the new record definitely, and I think it's a
Okey.
much stronger record. And I think that there's no filler songs, there's no weak songs in my humble opinion. So I can't
Okey.
wait for people to hear it, and I can't wait to get feedback.
Finalmente, como músico con una carrera tan extensa, ¿qué consejo le darías a los bajistas jóvenes que buscan hacerse un nombre en la industria del rock y metal hoy en día?
Well, as I say when I do clinics and things, and I there's you need to have a lot of things together in order to be successful. But professionalism is very important, obviously. Uh, Being a stand-up person, being prepared when you come into rehearsals is very important. Being on time, But getting out and playing live is really important. And I think also, regardless of what style you want to focus on, is to learn many different styles. It's going to make you a much, much stronger player. Mm, 'cause rhythmically and harmonically, you're going to be a much more competent musician, and it's going to be so much more fun to play too. And um, that's important, and don't just listen to one bass player or one band and try to, you know, focus your style on that. Try to find your own sound. That's really important. Listen to different things, different music, and different instruments. As a bass player, maybe copy a saxophone player. You know, don't sit around and learn other bass players' licks all day. That's good too, but it only goes so far, I think, in my opinion. But also, what's important now, and the tool we have is the social media. Is such a good tool to use to network with people and other
Yeah.
musicians around the world, because you can speak to people. People will answer your email. Even famous musicians a lot of times are approachable in that sense. um, you can send them links to your videos or things like that, and you just build a network and network with people. It's super important, because out of knowing 100 people, you might get one gig coming out of it. And it doesn't mean that you're not great. You might be great, but people already have a bass player a lot of times, and they don't know you. Maybe you live in a different country, but one day there's going to be that one opportunity where they say, "Listen, we need a bass player," and then the one guy goes, "Well, oh, I know this guy.
Yeah.
I've been talking to this guy on Facebook. He's really nice and he plays really well." So utilize that. Don't just talk to people in your own city. That's important too. Very important, because you can actually meet them in person. You can talk to musicians all around the world, and which is really great. So take advantage of that, and go with bands. mm, mm, Successful bands come to town to perform. Go see them, try to meet them, and get to know them that way. Because once you met people in person, that's you know it's a step above that. It's just something about meeting someone in person that really confirms that this is a great guy, and you know all that stuff.
Yeah. Very good advices. Thank you so much, Bjorn, for taking the time to speak with us.
My pleasure. Muchas gracias. De nada.
Muchas gracias. Qué chingón que te quedaste hasta el final. Espero te haya gustado esta pequeña entrevista. Dime qué te parece. A mí me encantó platicar con Bjorn. Muy puntuales sus respuestas. Aparte, súper consejos para aquellos que quieran seguir sus pasos, para aquellos que gusten del bajo. Ya saben, no se encasillen con un solo género. En fin, por favor, déjame tus comentarios. Dime qué te pareció la entrevista. Dime qué te parece Bjorn. ¿Cuál es el trabajo que más te gusta de él? Y pues nada, nos vemos el jueves a las 8 en punto en entrevista en vivo. Por favor, espero verte por allá para que interactúes con nosotros. Nos vemos a la próxima. Que estés muy bien. Chao.